Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In today's video, we're taking a look at some fancy buttons from OMNI Arcade. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, OMNI Arcade sent me some buttons to check out, the O720s, both in 24mm and 30mm sizes. Now this is not going to be an official review because these are not final buttons, these are beta versions. What's finally released might not match what I have here, so criticizing them or saying great stuff about them might not apply to the final product. So I just want to kind of level set there. I'm excited to talk about them, I'm excited to show them off, and that's why I'm doing this video. Taking a quick look at the bottom of the button here, you can see the word OMNI printed as well as O720. This entire button is 3D printed. The top has a concave plunger. This is a little bit different than a standard Sanwa or Shimizu button. They're also screw buttons, they're not snap-ins. Inside the button is a full-size Kailh micro switch. To me, this is a really huge feature of this button. On top of that, the switches are completely hot swappable. You just pop them out and pop another one in. Here's a closer look at the plungers if you are curious, 24mm on the left and 30mm on the right. You can see that they do have ridges on them for improved grip. On top of that, there is quite a bit of travel distance here on these buttons. Both the 24 and 30mm buttons are the exact same mechanically, same switches, same base. The only difference here is the circumference. From a wiring standpoint, you can see they're a lot more low profile than a standard Sanwa switch, and this is a huge plus if you don't have a lot of space in your Fightstick. I don't know if the production model is going to be this short, but I really like seeing it. Here's a closer look at how much space you save on the inside of the Fightstick. For reference, this is a Quamba Obsidian. The O720s fit perfectly in existing 30mm holes. There is no resizing required. When I was tightening the buttons, I did notice that the ring flexed ever so slightly. Now it is 3D printed. I don't know what the final production is going to be like, but OMNI Arcade also has a custom wrench to help tighten these things up, and I do recommend it because it works very well. It fits on perfectly and provides even pressure around the tightening ring. There's also no need to use additional wiring here. It uses the exact same wiring that's on most standard Fightsticks. So here's what the Quamba Obsidian looks like with the buttons installed. They have a really chunky feel to them. I like it, and it's a little bit different, well actually a lot different than a lot of other buttons I have. Here's a quick side view of the buttons beside the OMNI Arcade's Loki. And here are the O720s side by side with a stock Sanwa button. You can see the plungers on the O720s are raised up considerably. Initially, I thought the plungers on the O720 were going to wobble around quite a bit, but they are fairly stable. They do wobble around a little bit when the button's fully pressed in, but not near as much as I was expecting. Again, these are beta versions of the buttons. The buttons feel very weird. They feel chunky, but they also feel good. Now, I've had the opportunity to test these out for quite some time. I've had them sitting around for a while. I've taken them apart. I've fiddled around with them, and what I can say is I'm impressed with what I see. On one hand, if you are familiar with Sanwa buttons, maybe Shimizu buttons, these do feel considerably different. If you're familiar with gamer finger buttons, again, these do feel different. They are very responsive buttons, but you're probably not going to get accidental presses with them. I definitely knew when I was hitting a button and when I wasn't. When my fingers just grazed over the button, there were no accidental presses whatsoever because these things are pretty meaty. I do like that they're super low profile in the stick. I like that they're completely customizable here. The micro switches are hot swappable and they use a full-size micro switch, which makes switching things a little easier. Now, I do know some people won't like concave buttons, how they kind of dent in. Some people like the traditional convex buttons, something like a Sanwa where it bumps out. Well, since OMNI Arcade does 3D print these buttons, I think they have full control over how these things are designed. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see some concave or some convex plungers in the future. Now, I do like what I see here though. I'm excited for these O720s. I'm looking forward to seeing the final production version of them. And on top of that, I'm excited for their release. Anyways, that is all I've got for today. Let me know your thoughts on the O720 in the comments below. And I do recommend checking out OMNI Arcade's Discord. There's a ton of great information there. If you have questions about the product, if you have suggestions, or if you want to learn more about it, join their Discord and I'll link it in the description below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Thank you everyone, take care.